Yo, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. Again, I'm your host, Edward Anderson. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. This is gonna be info. Sorry. This is gonna be an infomercial hour edition. So let's get going. Yeah, so I was listening to a video and it's one of the Lapeef Network satellite videos, not one of the Lapeef Network satellite channels. And I don't know why I was starting. I want to start coughing. It had TJ on there, and it had a couple of Lauren. I think Lauren was hosting it. It's that Lauren and Lucky channel, kind of the girls talk situation. And they were basically, the title is like, she's a runner, she's a track star, but late into the conversation, like towards the last like 10 minutes, they're having a conversation about dates, and you had a dude on there, Jonathan. Generally, he said some really on point stuff. I've yet see him really fuck up yet, but he called in and he's having a conversation about annoying shit women do on dates. And one of the things, and this is really something. Shout out to Freeman's Journal. Um, shout out to Freeman's Journal. And I'm not gonna go into it because he emailed me in confidence, but he was on a panel and he said some stuff that was 100% on point, 100% facts. And because he was in hostile territory, they didn't respond to it. And one of the things that they levied at him was how you say it. And this was dudes and women saying it. How you say it, how you say it, how you say it, how you say it. This is a grown ass man, either late 40s or early 50s, married, has a daughter, has a career, has his shit together, and pretty much all that we know, right? And he didn't curse, he didn't call nobody out their name, he wasn't even talking to nobody direct, he was answering a question. And how he answered that question, folks wanted to get annoyed about it. And then you had, this was on King's thing, and I consider King a satellite channel, the Lapeef Network as well. And one thing you notice with them is they like to play like they're about having a conversation and talking, but they like to suppress expression. You see, one of the things with and I understand the technical reasons why they do the cam up thing, and that's fine. But even when you cam up, if you say something that they don't like, it becomes a problem. It becomes this little clicky thing. You can feel the pressure where you are being coerced in the kind of saying something that, let's say, is politically correct. And that's why people on YouTube in the first place, because the mainstream stuff, which is the politically correct shit, is the problem. That's the fucking problem. It's kind of like Jason Black said once that you can tell what a black person really thinks if you put them in front of a white person. They're going to tell you at the end of the day what's really up with them. And the reason why that's the case is because when you put them in front of a white person, now it's time to really put up a shut up. And that's when kind of the rubber meets the road. And that's when that pressure kind of comes to bear. It's that societal pressure to not really, crack some eggs, to not really be as my old boss used to say, a rebel rouser. And and as far as I'm concerned, that is this is one of the reasons why I talk about the gynocracy, because the gynocracy cannot exist without suppressing masculinity. It cannot exist without masculinity being very suppressed. And you have people that will say masculinity needs to make a comeback, but most of them are liars. And that includes dudes that say that because they want to pick and choose what part of masculinity comes back. That's not how it works. And this is where women are in they don't want to surrender to structure, to order, and even if they're not always like this, it's kind of like the agent, somebody being possessed by an agent. You become an agent of chaos. So let me give you an example of what I mean. In this conversation, they were talking about dates. And Jonathan was basically saying, he's in Atlanta, so a lot of these motherfuckers are in Atlanta. And he was talking, TJ was on there too. And TJ was fine. She wasn't really saying nothing crazy. And Jonathan was saying, stupid shit females do that is pretty much normalized at this point. Being on your phone, take a picture of food, not really, the dude is just an accessory for you to get a free fucking meal. And for Instagram promotion, which is why a lot of dudes don't like take chicks on dates. They're like, if you like me enough, we just gonna smash. And we can do, and I'm cool because dudes are cooler with that bullshit after they smashed. But before then, and keep in mind, this is a first. I want to be clear. This is a first date because people, first thing a female would say, "Oh, you're being reasonable. You're making this a big deal." Da, 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 da. Whatever. This is a first date. This is not a third date. This is not a second date. Not a third date. Not a date where you and they were talking about how the first date is an interview. Well, in jobs, anybody that has a solid career, you go through an interview process, which is, obviously that starts with your resume, that starts with the initial interview, that starts with, sometimes you get an interview where you being interviewed by multiple motherfuckers, you being interviewed, to demonstrate you can do the damn job. It's not just one interview. It may be a telephone interview, then you do a physical interview, then you do kind of a council interview. I've never been good at interviews where I gotta sit in front of a whole bunch of people because there's always one fucking asshole that doesn't like me. Always. It's always one. But so those interviews I generally don't do great. Hands-on interviews I do great. Initial interviews I do great on. So and so anybody, so you're dealing with people that quote unquote are educated, so they should understand this, right? um and by the way, the conversation kind of started on this track because they were talking about how women always like to talk about their education. And that's and I've seen that too, where women, like, they're so excited about their education. You don't talk about how you go about telling them that a dude don't give a fuck about your education. Like, that's like, I'm not going on a date with you for you to give me a fucking resume. Just like I don't go on a date with somebody and then I'm talking about my business. I'm talking about marketing. I'm talking about affiliate marketing and all this. That's some nerdy shit. That's some nerdy shit. And it's the same thing in reverse. I'm going on a date to get to know you. Not to and not to, like, okay, you're going for your masters. The end. The end. Like, all, like, and a lot of that shit is like a game, is antisocial. It really is. Because women have been told that they have this status because they have a degree. As far as I'm concerned, if you have, like, it ain't even a foregone conclusion that you're gonna have a job. And I know about the schools here. I know Campbell as far as lawyers. I know all of that. But if that's the only thing you can fucking talk about, I want to hear something about where have you been? Have you been overseas? Shit like that. Not some shit where you just in books all this bullshit. I mean, we get in this early, but that's where it started, and then it went into some of the other stuff, goofy shit that women do. So, like, being on their phone, which I consider completely disfucking respectful. Like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I've said more than once I'm going to a bathroom and bounced and not paid, like, and bounced, like, straight up. Because when women do that phone shit, they do that shit early. I've ghosted chicks for that shit, like, for real. Because, yeah, straight up. But anyway, um the conversation kind of moved on to, well, it's about how you say stuff. And then TJ made a kind of an old school suggestion, and she was talking about establishing, having a conversation prior to going on a date with somebody, which ironically is something BGS has talked about, saying he back in the day, he talked to a chick for 2 weeks before he went out on a date with her, right? Because at that point they had some good stuff to talk about. I don't know if I necessarily recommend doing that shit today, but I understand why that worked back then. I definitely get that. And TJ suggested something similar, but for this purpose of kind of setting some ground rules as to how you're going to engage with each other. Now, this is a woman, an older woman on here that said this. And then Lauren kind of, in a smiling way, but rolled her eyes like she was not for that. And Jonathan very smartly pointed out, I'm glad you said that, because look at how Lauren is reacting. I agree with you, TJ, but this is not how they are. Because I'm listening to this, and my thing is, these chicks are flaky. You can't really do that. Like, you can't have a fucking two-week conversation. If your presence isn't making them want to deal, they either want to deal with you or they don't. All of that chase, and then keep in mind the title is she's a runner, she's a track star. And one of the things is women are flaky as fuck. This is why niggas don't like to go on dates anymore. Because women are flaky as fuck. And if they're not, they're doing the dinner whore bullshit. Then you gotta remember you're in Atlanta. I'm sorry. Atlanta, like black women at Atlanta, the reputation with black women in Atlanta is like beyond fucking down the toilet. So automatically, you tell me you from Atlanta, I'm automatically judging you. I'm sorry. Automatically in my mind, I'm like, you gotta be one of those bitches. I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop. I'm sorry, you can say what you want to say about that, but that's how bad the reputation in Atlanta has gotten. And I used to have very high esteem for people in Atlanta. But Atlanta has just become, and that's not all people that's from there's fault. Chicagoans just come down there, fucked it up. It's like everybody that's fucked up gravitates to Atlanta. The thing about LA is too expensive to be fucking around like that. And there's no part of California where you can really be fucking around like that, and playing to that level. Atlanta ain't got that same kind of cost of living though. So you gotta really be, and see, remember, taking chicks on dates is really anti-pump and dump. That's really courting. And the truth is, I don't give a fuck. All these women, if they down to fuck with you, they down to fuck. You don't have to take them on a date. That is not required. But we're talking about any event that somebody decides to. So the main part of this video is everything came back to, well, it's how you say it. And it kept on coming back to this over and over. Well, if you say it this way, if you tell her put your phone away so we can have a conversation. And the thing that was really annoying the shit out of me is everything they say. Shout out to Ali for the $5 cash app. Everything that was said, none of this shit has to do with what a woman needs to do. Everything is how a man needs to tiptoe, basically tuck in his. And if I was on there, I would say this. What I'm hearing when you say shit is you want a masculine man, but you also want a man that knows when to tuck his nuts in and speak to you softly like you're a 12-year-old little girl. All of this how you say it shit, I can understand if you're talking to a fucking 16-year-old, if you're talking to a 15-year-old. Let's say you have a cousin or a niece. That's what I'm talking about. And you're educating them about some shit. A chick that's like 16, a girl that's 16-year-old and younger, where, these teenagers with their emotions, their hormones, these, fuck these 12-year-olds where they don't know shit. Okay, yes, how you talk to them matters. I will give you that. And even then, I have my limits on that. But I'll humor that. You're fucking 25. You're fucking 30. Fuck that shit. My expression will not be fucking suppressed because the bitches that want to say they're strong and independent women for decades. I grew up from birth to now hearing that bullshit. Now I gotta talk to you all like you're fucking snowflakes. I don't talk to white women like that. I don't talk to Latin women like that. I don't like black men will tell you. Tell me if I'm lying in the chat. Do yes or no? And I'm not even talking about necessarily on a date. I'm talking about in the workplace. I'm talking about, well, not in the workplace. I'm talking about not in the workplace. I'm talking about in general, even outside of a date or sexual context. Do you talk to non-black women like you gotta worry about them spazzing, or you yourself? Is it really only Ado's black women that we gotta play this a Rubik's Cube, this Jenga bullshit? Like for real. Like for real. And it's like and my thing is, I'm like, if I'm not saying like I can see if I said bitch, put your phone up, but if I'm saying, and quite frankly, I'm not gonna fucking tell you to put your phone up. I'm gonna put my phone out. I'm gonna start a stop clock, and I'm gonna wait. And I'm going because I love awkward shit between one on one with people. I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna chill, and I'm gonna see how long you do it. And if you get over 3 minutes, I'll be like, dang, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'm not even going to the bathroom. I'm going to the door. And I'm out. And I've done that before. Straight up. And then you're getting ghosted. I'm blind. I'm not answering. It doesn't matter. Well, what if she had an emergency? I don't care. Then that's gonna be my L. That's my loss. But 99, but I'm operating on a 99% chance that's not what the fuck is going on. I don't want to hear that shit. Because if it was an emergency, the bitch wouldn't be on there 3 minutes and she wouldn't be texting. So for all of the for the what if show, yeah, whatever. But anyway, and this is why I also don't take these chicks to expensive places on the first date anyway. They're going to the fucking Cheesecake Factory or some shit like that. If that. If that. But all of this, how you say it, I'm no, fuck that shit, fuck that shit, fuck that shit, fuck that shit. Let's be clear here. If a woman wants to fuck, how you say it doesn't matter. This is one thing that I want to leave this lesson to black men. If you got to tiptoe around shit, you're not smashing. You're not fucking. I mean, just take the L, nigga. Take the L. If a chick wants to fuck, how you say it's just like jokes. If you tell a bad joke, she laughs, she likes you. All of this little, well, if you do this, if you do that, if you do that, these women will get on these platforms and say that shit. That shit does not make a difference. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. If you taking a bitch on a date and you ain't smashed, you really fucking up. Honestly, well, I'm not that type of bitch. Bullshit. If you from Atlanta, yes, you are. Automatic. Nah, nigga, I'm not polite. I'm not asking shit. I'm not asking shit. Because nigga, like, you're not a little girl. I'm not about to ask you to put no fucking phone away. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna be like, and people see, because when I've been on double dates, fucking put on my sunglasses. That's the tell. Niggas start laughing. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to be out. When I start putting on my sunglasses inside, that's the tell. Because that's my eyes getting red. I'm trying to cover that shit up. Yeah, back. Yeah, I gotta be fair back to the classroom. I gotta be fair. I'm not saying that necessarily all the Atlanta natives are just a piece of shit. I'm just talking about the overall culture there. So I want to be fair about that. But still, it's like it's like, yeah. And that is what that is. But Yeah, fuck that. And again, I'm 35, so I'm a little bit over that age with that shit. When it comes to that phone shit, but y'all no, man. I'm not playing with y'all. We're not in high school. We're not in high school, and I wasn't even putting up with that shit when I was 25 years old, man. Like straight like that. Straight like that. And like I said, the thing about it is, if you got to tiptoe around how you talk to a bitch, she ain't into you like that. And see, one of the things that dudes gotta learn to do is, number one, don't get attached quick, and number two, don't get attached quick. Don't put in your mind all these things are gonna happen. And then number two, be able to remove yourself quickly. Shout out to the movie Heat. I love that movie. What did he say? You have to be able to leave a bitch in 60 seconds or less. Al Pacino said, "You really do that all the time?" And Robert De Niro said, "That's the discipline." The reality is, if you do not believe that, oh man, if I give it more time and I allow her to hear my mouthpiece, that things are gonna turn around. No, it's not. If chemistry is typically there or it's not. The chemistry is not, oh, well, it just needs time like fine wine to marinate. That's not how chemistry is. Chemistry is volatile, means it sparks quick. So if a bitch is on her phone, that is a fucking tell. You all tell me how many of you all, you tell me, maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. How many chicks was on her phone for like a good amount of time on a date that you smashed? I'm talking about a chick you didn't smash before. You tell me. Press one if a chick was on a phone for more than like 5-6 minutes while y'all are out and you still hit. You tell me. Maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And niggas will sit there and waste like an hour, let that bitch eat like she on lunch from a job. And then she's sitting there and probably gonna get smashed by another nigga. And basically let him eat the fucking doggy bag. Which is why motherfuckers don't like going on dates now. So, and it's not just the date. The overall thing I want to communicate to you all is this idea of, well, it's how you say it. And that's how motherfuckers were saying that with Kevin. How you say it, how you say it, how you say it, how you say it, how you say it. If I'm not calling you a bitch and I'm not telling you to shut the fuck up, how I say it is irrelevant. If I'm not calling you out your name, how I say it is ear fucking relevant. Would you tell your daddy? I got a question. I would ask all the females this. Would you tell your daddy how you say it? Do you think Black Huru's daughters tell him, oh, well, it's how you say it? You think BGS's daughter, oh, it's how you say it? How you say it, how you say it. As if black men are just talking the most bullshit to our women. We are very light handed. We are very soft handed with our women. But a lot of black men are more heavy handed with non black women than they are with black women. Yet, in reverse, do you hear black women paying attention to anything they say to us? It's very direct, it's very to the point, it doesn't matter. And when you hear all this body positivity, fat phobic, transphobic, homophobic, you're colorist, you're featurist, you're judging me, you're insecure because these chicks are hoes, anything, you're judging me because I'm a single mother, the language you use is harsh. All of that is like moving against the wind. It is all designed to suppress you. And that's what they're doing to these boys too. They set these boys up to feel very bad about being males. And then when they grow up, as David Carroll says, they're fucked up. And most of them are not gonna be fixed. The law averages dictate they are washed. You cannot the law of averages are not gonna overcome that. The damage is significant. And even if you say it with a smiling face, or even when you say it doesn't matter how you say it. I don't care if you're saying it. I don't care if you're saying it like a bitch, or I don't care if you're saying it nice. It's still wrong. And women tend to think, well, if I say it with a smile, he'll go along with it. Yeah, the bitch niggas will. The niggas that are the niggas that operate on hope, the niggas that are willing to be your fucking friend while you fucking another nigga do it. But my thing is, shout out to Ludacris. Either you fucking or get out my car. It's your choice. I'm cool with whatever. But let me go ahead and try to find another bitch. That's how I am. And that's how most dudes need to be. Don't say fuck you, bitch. Don't get mad. I don't get mad if a chick says, "Oh, I don't date short dudes." I appreciate that. Oh, you lying. No, I'm not. I'd rather a chick tell me that now than I pay for a date, pay for dinner, and she do that. That's when I'll be mad. And I'm gonna be mad at myself. Straight up. Straight up. That's they have a right. Now I'm not saying they should be nuclearly rejecting you, especially off the gate. But real talk, it doesn't matter. You sift this sort and sift this sort. And I understand that that's easily said than done. There's a lot of mindset work and a lot of internal work that some people have to go through. Some actions that need to be taken to work their way to the other side of that. And I'm not acting like I'm perfect. This is why I empathize with I did empathize with Solo, on with that Janae shit. I really did. I really did because Janae was a bitch, and quite frankly, she's the type of chick needs to be backslapped. To be honest with you, but that wasn't my fight. That was not my fight to have. And sometimes you gotta let shit just roll. I'm not gonna be all these niggas collapsing on a bitch. I'm not doing that because that's not a good look. But, you know, I understand how sometimes you get that body blow and that shit just sits with you. It happens to the best of us. That's why, when Solo was starting to wild out on me because he was mad, I understood why he was mad. But I'm like, yeah, you gonna need your space with that shit. Because hey, that just is what that is. I'm not, yeah. But I understood it. I absolutely understood it. But quite frankly, you can't put yourself in a position where you give a woman an ability for something like that to have an effect. That's the problem. And I bring that up as an example because that's a good example that can happen to anybody. It can absolutely happen to anybody. Look at Will Smith. Look at Will Smith. And Will Smith is fucking Will Smith. And if you and hey, people act like, well, Tupac was that nigga. No, he wasn't. Not to Janet. Remember when Tupac got mad as hell because Janet Jackson didn't want to have a sex scene with him in Poetic Justice, and Tupac was hot. Tupac was mad as fuck. He almost like if it would have been any other female, Tupac would have did a diss track. But but the Jacksons are the Jacksons, and that just would not have worked out for him. So he let that go, but he was mad. So so don't believe just because Jada lusts, it's always somebody lusting for somebody else. And real talk, say what you want to about JD. Janet did, deal with JD. Now she didn't have a baby with him, but she gave him more respect than she had gave Tupac. So it ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. But this thing about how you say it, it's how you say. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you're not feeling me, that's cool. That's cool. But I'm not, that's not game. And see, women do not allow, and see, a lot of dudes will think that's game. That's not game. I'm not gonna be talking to you like I need to I'm not doing all of that. I'm not gonna have a PhD to talk. If it really is what that is, then let's just, let me deal with somebody that's feeling me. That's how you do that. And I like in real talk, you supposed to be talking to multiple females just in case. I'm gonna keep it real with you. In sales, people can be flaky when you schedule a follow up call. You button up the call, which means you let them know you're to go to the next. You're gonna do a follow up. Are you sure? If you're not interested, let me know. No, no, okay. And then they always flake for some reason. That's why I set up multiple follow up calls in the same time slot. And if they're really interested, they'll wait because the follow up calls are never that long. But it creates a perception that you're always busy. But which is true, but it's a good perception. But what you always do is, in case people flake, you're anticipating that. There's ways to like put stuff in there, and but again, coming back to it, I really get annoyed about the how you say it bullshit. Because when you look at the disingenuousness of a lot of women like Kay and other stuff, and then women will think, well, if I get you, what they're doing is they're really G checking a lot of y'all when they do that because they want to see how that's really a low key shit test. Well, it's how you say it. No, the truth is you shouldn't have the phone out in the fucking first place. So you're really lucky I'm even saying something and not just saying check and just not being done with you. That's really what the truth is. But women like, well, you want this pussy, so you ain't go to no bullshit. And this is why if you niggas are gonna fuck a fat bitch or fuck a bitch that maybe she got an ugly face but a fat ass, this is what these hoes are for. They're for fallback plans. But you all don't use them for that. Tupac wouldn't have stuck with Jada that long. Stuck with Jada, you're right. Angela C said they say the same thing to Tommy Sotomayor. He to Tommy Sotomayor, and he's more aggressive than Kevin Samuels. Well, Tommy can be obnoxious. Tommy is obnoxious. Like that's a little bit different. But what I will say about Tommy, and I'm not a fan of Tommy. I'll give you an example. There was a chick, Ada, her name's Ada Z. And Tommy was talking to her. Red Supreme did I saw this myself, and Red Supreme did like a follow-up on it, basically reviewing that conversation. I'm not a fan with Tommy, so I'm typically generally gonna side against Tommy unless Tommy's saying 1+1 is 2. But in that interaction, Tommy was not wilding out. Tommy only started wilding out once and even when Tommy really did not go full Tommy. He did. He really kept his composure the whole time up until the very end. And at that point, she was already wilding out for like a good couple of minutes at that point. And then she brought in somebody else, like when a guest caller, and the caller's trying to check Tommy. And at the end of the day, this is a nigga that's got like 700,000 subscribers. And this is some random nigga, and then she let him talk when he was gonna respond. Like she was being a bitch, and I'm not even gonna front. And that's when that Baltimore like fully came out of her, and just impulse control just wasn't there. And and that wasn't Tommy's fault at all. That wasn't Tommy didn't start that. Tommy even tried to suppress it a little bit and get back on track. But she was once she got in her mode, and this is a woman that she looks the part. She looks good, but once you hear her talk, it's game over. It really is. It's like no. It's like it's like when you get mad, you have like a trans possession, and you're like, and I no, I actually haven't been to her channel since then. She interviewed Mediocre Tutorial, and again, it's the same thing. Mediocre is really good at navigating this. He's a little bit better than Poor Man, but Poor Man is good at doing this too. I'm glad I brought that up. I'm glad I brought that up because thank you, Angela, because that's actually another example of a woman trying to suppress a man expressing himself. And when I say expressing himself, Tommy wasn't even being Tommy. Tommy was just going through the logic. And if the logic doesn't match up to a woman's emotional state, then what they do is they'll start using chaos to fuck up the conversation and basically take it off the tracks. because it's not going the way they want. The numbers are not adding up to their perspective. We're not even going to get into the point where Tommy is a lot older than A to Z. A to Z ain't really old enough to really know shit, to be really like that. Well, I have a woman's perspective. You have a little girl's perspective. And I'm not saying she ain't never said nothing that's on point, but I'm just saying when you talking to it like this is a dude that's talked about this shit. And Jason Black is the same way. Jason Black doesn't even tolerate that, which is why Jason Black typically don't go on other people's shit. Because I remember when Zoe checked him, and I'm sure Jason was like, that shit will never happen again. But when you're on Jason shit, that shit does not go that way. Because Jason tells you straight up, you will be hung up on. He gives you quite a few chances, but he's very clear that he's in control. And Jason kind of does that a little bit in the opposite way, as far as you can't really express yourself. But whatever. But my point is that when you're talking to these women, want you to talk to them on their terms. And my thing is, you all don't understand the urgency of this situation. You really don't. You individually may be good, and that's only to a certain extent. But the reality of the situation is men don't gotta engage you on your terms. They really don't. The only reason why they do is because they're trying to fuck. And if dudes actually solve the problem of pussy poverty, meaning they created whatever cocktail of things they need to create in order to solve their sexual access needs, then it wouldn't matter. Whether it's fucking with an older bitch, whether it's fucking with a chick that's below average in looks, but maybe got a fat ass, maybe got some good head game, whatever. Traveling, whatever you do to basically create a cocktail that solves that problem. Once you solve that problem, they're not in the driver's seat because you've taken more control of sexual access. You've at least managed it. But a lot of dudes are just operating like piece of paper in the fucking wind. So what happens is you start adhering to that bullshit. Well, yeah, maybe it's how we say it. And I was just talking on Art of Igmore. Yes, I know dudes that they do the most and they can do some extraordinary goofy shit. That's not what I'm talking about though. Like when there was some stuff that Jonathan was saying that was beyond reasonable. And then they're like, well, if it comes off harsh and comes like I'm not here for no fragile bitch. And I've asked the chick that. I say, would you consider yourself a fragile person? What do you mean? Well, if somebody says something that's harsh, are you just gonna like frail up or just has a hissy fit like a 12, like a 13-year-old or some shit? Because you look like that type of bitch. What did you say? See, that's what I'm talking about. Let me see. What's up, Jim Rat? Verse. She hate me. Appreciate this cash app. Dollar Washer, Alpha Omega, the antisocial socialite, the hybrid nigga perspective of the hybrid nigga. You see Jim Rat. Hey, speaking of renegade talk, there's a black woman named Codename Channel Chanel on YouTube teaching women how to finesse and fleece men for money and gifts. Sure, they can do that. I'm cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Because the more they pollute the system, the more men are gonna have to adjust. So all they're doing is accelerate. When women hustling men, that shit is not that shit causes men. Trust me, men are gonna adjust. There's not an unlimited amount of niggas that's got the money to fleece and finesse. Most of these niggas are broke. We know this. And the niggas that got money know they got money. And again, it doesn't matter what a bitch says. You either fuck it or you not. And it's not a fucking holiday. Oh my god. Anyway. So and at the end of the day, if you ain't fucked the bitch, don't give her nothing. That's the simple rule. If you ain't fucked the chick, don't give her don't even bitch what? I don't know you like that. We ain't even fuck. Remember, to know a woman is to have sex with her in the Bible. So if you have not fucked her, don't give her shit. And you really shouldn't give her shit anyway. But that's a easy breather for that. Alpha Omega, the manosphere is going to get destroyed. I feel it's in a crisis situation. No, it's not. First of all, technically the Lapeef network is not in the manosphere. So y'all got like every fucking 3 months, y'all are on something. The manosphere is gonna be destroyed. I know you probably saw that video with Ramil and fucking Ty City. Ty City came into this bitch talking about what the manosphere, everything. Ty City's whole entire run in this space has been telling motherfuckers what they not doing right. And then as far as Ramil, go to Ramil's Patreon. Ramil is a hyper individualist, so he's gonna go through those spells. But you got to remember, a lot of these new people are not. They're like the manosphere. It's like a galaxy where you have your internal planets, your medium planets, and your outer rim planets. Y'all. I don't know why. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. That's why I stick to certain channels, and I rarely jump from. Even though I am gonna build a list of channels. Let me see. Hybrid nigga was they use worthless degrees as leverage in the sexual market. Yeah, they do. And I'm like, I really like honestly, this shit ain't gonna go right. Because if a chick really wanna fuck a nigga, she not talking about no degrees. I don't give a fuck about what you saying. And usually I'm not one to be going on date a whole bunch of dates with chicks that I ain't smashed. Not on no real shit. That's for some after I smash shit. Now we can get to know each other. The back of the classroom. Glad you mentioned. Yeah, we can. Jim, I politely asked them to put their phone. Bruce Leroy, shout out to you 504. It's not like they don't know. It is. They do know it's disrespectful, and it's kind of like. I mean, it's kind of like Sierra twerking, and then not understanding that she's a representative of Russell Wilson, and she's doing that. She's giving these women hope. I mean, it's really a hustle. It's really shit Beyonce used to do, but Beyonce did it through her music. And at the end of the day, dudes are not gonna tell you all this shit. What dudes are gonna do is quietly stop fucking with y'all. That's what dudes are doing. They're just gonna slide out. Oh, well, they're not on YouTube complaining. You're right. They just bounced. They saying, no. I don't take girls out to eat if I haven't smashed at least one or yeah. I'm taking these hoes like no. And it's not even about the money. It's about the time. It's about the time. I don't have time to be talking to some. I'd rather take a bitch out. I don't plan on smashing, but have some business stuff like some networking stuff. I'd rather do that and keep it all the way 100. AW Truth is Tupac would have never been with Jada if he was alive. He would be with a battered chick, and Jada would be a bitter has been for 15. Bitter would be a bitter has been 50 years ago. Bruce Leroy, any man who is even somewhat part of a pre-selection class knows it don't matter what you say or do. If she's sexually attracted, you're in. You damn near can't mess it up unless you really. Absolutely. And the thing about it is, I always talk about being pre-qualified. Like that's never me. The thing is, you got a couple of females. I understand what BJ is talking about. You got some females, but they got a thing for light-skinned dudes. So a lot of it, the trick is obviously the more you self improve yourself, the more you create being pre qualified on a more universal level. Unless you have a pre qualified trait like height, oh, fine. Then you're gonna, even then it's not perfect, but but there's ways of creating that more. So I've been in situations where I've been quote unquote pre-qualified, and you're right. It's a completely different frequency. It's a different frequency. It is. And I've had situations where I have rejected chicks. It was this one chick where she was 5'1", and she was just a little bit, she was just a hair bigger than what I wanted her to be. I swear it was a hair, and I even tried to like get myself because I liked her before, but she was thinner. And you know how like females, if they gain weight, they titties start looking smaller, they ass start looking smaller, they shape is all off, and I'm like, damn, bitch. And she hated me, yo. She hated me bad for rejecting her. But I was like, I can't do it. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I was like, damn, it's like you and then she went pull that I got lupus bullshit. And I'm like, well, whatever with that. That shit didn't move because I'm like, whatever. And I wasn't mean about it, but yeah, that bitch hated me. And that's why I stopped fucking with people in my job because I was like, yo, that shit could have fucked my job up. Because she was actually higher than me at the time. She has a hard face. What's going on? Hey, what's up, Phantom? Damn, somebody shooting. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but you gotta remember this is the South. He said destroyed. What up, Ed? Yeah, what's up, Mr. Meach? Jim Rat, no beat badly made women 2021. Yeah. And the thing is, and I mean Lauren is solid. Lauren is solid, but at the same time, folks got to start being more like Jonathan. And he say he was 27. Jonathan's cool, and Jonathan. But see, the thing is, you get up there, and it's like you don't want to look like you that guy that's an extremist and shit. And it's like, yo, I'm about to tell you what the fuck it really is. Then you want to sit there and call it extreme and all that? That's bullshit. We wouldn't be here if there wasn't a problem. And a lot of them will talk that bullshit, but they know who to pull that bullshit with and who not to pull it with. They know not to pull that shit on the lead attorney. They know not to pull that shit on Kevin. So a lot of that, what they're trying to do is get you to come to their shit. And it's that constant pull. And it almost makes you seem like an extremist because you got to kind of cut that shit and say, no, that's not what the fuck is going to be. Well, you're being hard. No, no, no. I'm being direct. And I'm telling you right now, the reality is if you really like a dude, you not gonna be on your phone. Is that true? Is that not true? Then they're gonna start laughing. Okay, glad we understand each other. So why should a dude waste his time with you? Waste an hour when he could be working on another chick. Or he could be getting with some of his jump offs this like a five or shit. Have a better night. Because dudes have a right to have fun too. Going on a date with a bitch is going on a date with a black female is not a pleasant experience. Am I the only one that thinks that? Or am I just being an asshole? Going on a date, going on dates, like have you ever asked yourself if going on a date with you is a pleasant experience? I mean, man code had to comment on that shit. Yeah, I brought you into the light, man code. That nigga said I gotta put that shit on the record. Like if you really thought about this shit is like going to a fucking job interview and most likely you not getting the job. Because nowadays again, we know if the chick really wants you sexually, you don't have to go on a date. We know. And that's all these bitches. All of y'all. Fuck that, all of y'all. If y'all not married by now, you're in this category. I don't want to hear it. All of y'all got a nigga in your phone that if he calls up, you fucking. Black me. Yeah, that was when I was being an asshole for real. Black women in leadership don't mix. It don't. But I don't want this to go, too long. Yeah. And the thing is, it's and I'm not saying I haven't had pleasant experiences with sisters on dates, but the thing about it is sometimes that I'm not gonna sit in a shit where I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Like for real. What are we doing? I mean, y'all, you sitting here, and then a lot of times these chicks want to hustle you because they want to go on double dates and shit, or they want to go on dates with they want to do stupid shit that you kind of know. Okay, if you really, and that's one thing that y'all got to start doing. Y'all got to be like, okay, clearly this chick ain't trying to fuck, because if she's trying to fuck, these are things that are just not gonna happen. And as a man, you need to just accept the L and then just move on. That's what you need to do. Don't sit there and suffer through no whole fucking date where she ain't paying attention to you, where you talking, where you nah. Kill that shit. Kill that shit. And a lot of dudes will suffer through that shit, will try to call, will do all this bullshit rather than you actively vetting these females. What are you vetting them for? You're vetting them for if they want to fuck. And you need to accept that most of them ain't going to. Unless you that nigga. Maybe you are. Only you know. But this thing about, well, if you say the shit the right way and bullshit. Because other bitches have tried to say shit the right way to y'all. You got women that y'all have paid thousands of dollars to say shit the right way, and there is no right way to say some shit you're not trying to hear. So you might as well just say it as efficiently as possible. That's it. And the thing is, our women don't have any decorum when it comes to these things. This is how I'm supposed to act. No, I don't like rules. You gotta say it another way. Well, that's not my problem that you don't like structure. That's not my problem. That's not my problem that you don't like expectations. This is why these chicks gotta go to fucking femininity school. This is why these hoes gotta go to charm school. Because they weren't taught that shit. They were taught to be these fucking freebird bitches. That's exactly what Jade is. Oh, well, I don't want to be a structure. And BGS said it. If y'all seen that with the Renegade, that's that Renegade shit. And these would be the same women talk, well, I can learn if you do this the right way. No, that sounds like a spoiled bitch. There is the way, and that's it. If I got to tell you, that's a problem right there. That free spirit bullshit. Fuck that. Because of free spirit, you're subject to what the wind does to you. There is no protection for that. And they want dudes to cater to that shit. Even having some of these pointless conversations, I'm like, yo, you're too fucking old for me to have this fucking conversation with you. How old are you? I'm 29, I'm 30. Why the fuck do I gotta tell you this shit? Well, I didn't. Fuck that. How are you educated, but you don't know this? This is basic. And then it sounds like you're complaining because that's all they're going to say. Oh, well, he's insecure. So it's like, no. You don't say it. You just act. And what you're seeing with a lot of these conversations with these females is, as long as you, this is why a lot of dudes are very anti-woman being in the space, because as long as they're there, it's like over time you're gonna come to their conclusion because you're still there. It's just how long is it gonna be to convince yourself rather than remove you from the conversation, which is why I don't go to the breakdown anymore, because a lot of their shit is too clickbaity. It's not really a conversation. It's just some bullshit where we're just catering, we're giving them attention. And it's kind of like, no, because we're not going anywhere with this shit. I know you all know better, and you all keep asking the same dumbass questions, and you're not really leading nobody anywhere. That's why Obsidian doesn't go over there like that no more. And I'm not like I don't like dates, but at the same time, I'm not going like, going on dates overseas is great. But I'm going somewhere to enjoy myself. And the problem is everything is predicated on a man entertaining a bitch. That's how it is in the black community. My job is to be your fucking monkey with those brass clapper things. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not. Because I know if I'm the nigga you want, I'm not gonna have to do that. I'm not doing that. It is. And this is literally what they'll tell you. I'm like, bitch, I know if you down, you're down. Cause I've been in situations like that. None of that shit is necessary. That is only necessary the fucking tryouts. No, I'm not auditioning for you, bitch. Either you're giving me the role or you're not. The end. And either you're giving me a contract so I can look over or not. Well, we want to see, we just want you to come in and see how we want to see you do a voiceover, do a quick voiceover so we can see how you sound. No, fuck that. You know who I am. You know what this is. You know what you're getting. Send me the contract or don't. That is it. I'm not auditioning. Anyway, gave y'all a good hour. Sending y'all into the next week with that. Let's see. Anyway. Yeah, man. We're not doing that shit. We are not doing that shit. That's cool. Just rewind it, man. Cole. You can listen to it at multiple times playback speed. About the ending now. Make sure y'all get the likes up. But yeah, and it doesn't. And the reason why I did this video because it doesn't matter how you say it. It doesn't matter if you say it nice, if you say it with a smile. It doesn't matter. I mean, the shit is still coming back the same way. And women are trying to find different ways to say the same shit to get dudes to accept it. This is one of the reasons why Kevin's channel has grown because it's so big. Because you got women, they're just trying to see how can I insert the bullshit so you would accept it. And it's like, no, dudes are like, dude, and I'm gonna keep it real. It's not even a lot of all the dudes are not even. It's kind of like unemployment. There's a lot of dudes that are not even in the sexual marketplace. You can call them weird. You can call them simp or incels. You can call them weak. You call it what the fuck ever. Guess what? They're still not in the sexual marketplace. And you call them weak, ain't gonna have them just chasing bitches endlessly. Then you got dudes that they're on the top of the food chain that they don't got. They got all the leverage so they ain't got to bend on shit. So I don't even understand why if you chasing the same motherfuckers that you think a dude is going to come down for you. And these are women that are like in their late 20s, early 30s. These are not females that are like 25, 24. You're not at your peak sexual marketplace value. And to be fair, and I'm not trying to talk negatively about Lauren, but I've seen Lauren's Instagram. Lauren is all right. But Lauren is like man, a lot of these people and straight up, it's the same thing with what's her name, Brandy. Brandy actually, I'm not trying to degrade. Oh, you're degrading me. Brandy actually had a chest. Brandy's problem, if Brandy could get that, Brandy actually has potential. Brandy's well, from a body standpoint, um, but again, again, and again, Atlanta bitches. It's just these motherfuckers, they're too these hoes, Atlanta bitches are more Hollywood than fucking bitches in Hollywood. Like straight up. That's like my biggest problem with black women in Atlanta is they are way too fucking Hollywood. They all think they're stars. They all think they're celebrities. They all talk. It's like, bitch, who the fuck do you think you are? Like straight up. They all think they fine. They all like seriously. And remember, Rebecca Lynn Pope is out of Rebecca Lynn Pope, Nicole, and April all out of Atlanta. That should tell you some shit. And they all said the same thing about black females, and they're directly dealing with women there. Shout out to Art New Style. Yeah. And motherfuckers, like, it's like, yo, if you've been, like, it's like, fuck overseas. If you've been in a lot of these major cities, like, y'all are not that fine to be pulling that bullshit. Them bitches in Miami ain't that bad. Not that bad. Not unless they used to dealing with baller ass niggas. You got bitches where they think because they got proximity to a nigga, they made a guy, like, I ain't even talking about like the women that was saying that. I'm just talking in general. It's like y'all are not hitting on that much shit to be talking that kind of shit. Not like that. Yeah, they are living off a reputation. Like y'all are not looking like for real. And it's like, yo, like, and time is only going up with you pulling this bullshit. And the older men get, the more advantage men get. At least if we talking about from 20s to like 45. We don't get like, especially if you keeping your shit up. That's not true for women. That's why shout out to Roxy Beckles, but she did this video talking about, you know what, I'm 40 and I'm still hot. I'm like, yo, you're a body. You are literally like a professional fitness person. Stop, come on, Roxy. Stop acting like that's the average. That's like even the above average chick. 90 like 80% of these women, when they get to 35, it's sliding downhill from there. I don't know why motherfuckers out here fronting. Hey, we're at Vegeta is black. I need to make that a t-shirt. No, they not hitting like that. Yeah, oh yeah, be at a dinner with 8 to 10 chicks. And that's some goofy, by the way, that's some goofy ass shit. That's some, they want to pretend like they real housewives of Atlanta, Sex in the City. That's some goofy ass shit. When I see that shit, I be wanting to laugh. I've literally been on a date and I pointed at that shit. Anyway. Anyway, y'all, I'm about to be out. So with that being said, this is Albert signing off. Peace.